Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Nemanja Matic has apparently agreed personal terms with Manchester United. This has come out in the last couple of hours from Manchester Evening News. Manchester Evening News. Well, we'll speak about them in a moment, but when the local Manchester paper says that the terms have been agreed personally with Matic and they're not quoting anybody else, they're saying it from their own sources, then it is one to react to and one that has been rumbling on for a while. I would say straight away, there's a few points I want to bring in on this, that this is a signing that divides opinion, and that worries me straight away. A signing for Manchester United, or any club for that matter, should be one that enthuses the support. It shouldn't be one that divides the support from day one. It's not fair on the player, and it's not fair on the fans, but who gives a damn about the fans other than United Stand and you lot? I mean, Mourinho's got to make the decisions he wants to make. And on a positive, what I would say with Matic, he's experienced, he's Premier League proven, and you know what? If you were totally focused on the Premier League, he's probably the closest I can think of the top of my head to Michael Carrick. I think Michael Carrick's much better, and I think Matic is better at moving the ball, running with the ball. He's got a better shot on him as well, but he's probably the same sort of player as Carrick in the way that you can just leave him to run the midfield. He's got a good distribution of the ball off both feet, strong in the tackle, and of course the thing that Mourinho will absolutely I was going to say something rude then, will be very excited about is he's 6'4". We know Mourinho's got an obsession with midfielders that are tall. It's the reason Fellaini got games last season. So, yeah, Matic is 6'4". I've got that. So there's your positives. Premier League proven, closest thing to Carrick in the Premier League, and a lot of experience and some good traits. Now I'm going to give you what I think about it, because it is about honesty. I've got to be honest with you about this one. First of all, look around social media. Chelsea fans are ecstatic, absolutely ecstatic, that we're going to pay over £20 million to take a player off them they don't want anymore. That is a big red flag. If I had it, I'd be waving it around now. It's a big red flag when you are buying a player from a club and they want you to take them. That is a big worry. If we were taking Alexis Sanchez from Arsenal, they'd be in meltdown, they'd be panicked and everything like that. That's the sort of signing you do, like we did with Van Persie. You take a player from a rival that they don't want to go. Is that what Manchester United have become now, that we are now taking cast-offs? I know Chelsea won the league, but Leicester won the league 2 years ago. Look at the size of the clubs. Manchester United are on a different level to Chelsea. We should not be taking their cast-offs. I disagree with it. And also, we know for a fact that Fabinho is free and wants to come to Manchester United. And whatever you think about Nemanja Matic, my analogy would be this. Signing Nemanja Matic is like buying your mate's 5-year-old BMW off him, when for the same price you could buy a better model brand new, Fabinho. It doesn't make any sense to me. Other than, well, it does make sense that Mourinho likes Matic and he wants something that's familiar to him, that he had at a club that he got the sack from. I don't want anything from Chelsea. I know that's really petulant. I don't care that you managed Chelsea, Jose. I don't care that he was a good servant for you at Chelsea, Jose. You're Manchester United manager now. Go and build something new. Go and get a new player that isn't Matic, that becomes somebody that we feel really close to, that we don't feel that is a cast-off from somebody that doesn't want him anymore. It's frustrating, but I must also say, it is in the Manchester Evening News. Now, I would flip this two ways, like when we were talking about Fabinho yesterday and it was in the Corriere dello Sport. Why would they report about United and a French player? So that I think that one was balanced. It could have been nonsense, there could have been something in it. I think this Manchester Evening News thing could be nonsense, could be something in it. Why I think there's something in it is because they're quoting it, and obviously they're a Manchester-based paper. Do they get fed stuff from the club? I don't know. I certainly know that when I was growing up, when I lived in Nottingham, the Nottingham Evening Post was very close to both Notts County and Nottingham Forest, and they used to get information from the club. I haven't lived in Manchester. I don't know. Anybody know? Are they close enough to Manchester United? Do they have a good relationship with Manchester United? I've heard it's been up and down in the past, certainly under Sir Alex Ferguson, but have they been fed this from the club, or are they just making it up? If you want to judge Manchester Evening News, I think they're part of Trinity Mirror, Daily Mirror. We know that they're like the Sun. I wouldn't like to be condescending about them, but they're not, the most credible or reliable. So there is hope that it won't happen. if we get him, Spun Dangler says Matic is quality. AK says Matic doesn't want Chelsea anymore, he wants United. Yeah, I really believe that nonsense. I really believe that Matic, in the Premier League champions, has suddenly decided he fancies going to Manchester United. I mean, you can convince yourself of that if you like. I don't want to sort of... If we sign him, we've got to back him. Those of us who don't want him, we've got to back him. He is a good player. I'm just frustrated by the signing if it happens, because I just think there's so many better players than him who are younger, who offer more tenacity and more speed. He's not very quick. And I think that the one thing that United's midfield really cried out about for in the centre defensive midfield position last year was the Kante, was the Wanyama, that sort of player who is quick across the ground, tenacious in the tackle and feeds the others. And let's not forget, everyone goes on about Matic won the Premier League last year. Who was his partner? Kante. I mean, Kante does the work of two people. So when I watched Manchester United play Chelsea three times last season, the games that Matic played in, especially the one at Old Trafford, just wasn't... I didn't even notice him. Somebody might even check. Did he actually play? Because I didn't bloody notice him. I'm uninspired by the signing. If we sign him, great. But you know what? Maybe I'm a little bit old school. Maybe I'm a little bit passionate. But I don't like the thought of buying a player from our rivals that they don't want anymore. It doesn't fit with me. And we're Manchester United. We've got more money than anybody. There are better players out there than Matic, and we should be going for them. And the salt in the wound will be, we'll give Chelsea for good money for a player they don't want anymore, and then they're going to go and sign a midfielder that's better than Matic that maybe we should have just gone for in the first place. It is odd. Matuidi is better and he can teach Timbo, says Giza 66666. I'm super frustrated by this, says Harris. The midfield won't change at all. Slow pace, which will screw over Pogba offensively. I mean, that's a good point. I think that's my concern as well. Matic won't make our midfield any different than last year. Only that, you swap Matic for Fellaini, you've still got the height, you've still got the lack of pace, you've just got somebody who's slightly better on the ball and has got a better shot on him. We won't get that tenacity and pace in the midfield that I think we thrive on. We don't move the ball from defence to attack quick enough. And somebody, you know, even Carrick fell victim to that last year because Carrick's on the decline. He hasn't got that quickness of movement anymore. There might be nothing in this, and I really hope that there isn't. If there is, honestly, I don't want him. But honestly, I'm not going to. I mean, to be honest, when we signed Fellaini, I never liked it from the start, so I was consistent with that. With Matic, I think he could be. I think he can do a job for us. Speaking positively again, I think Matic, Herrera and Pogba could win the Premier League if Matic played like he has done a couple of years. I don't think Matic was good last year. I don't. I think he played with Kante. Well, I know he played with Kante, and Kante is head and shoulders the best defensive midfielder in the league. If you're playing next to him, it's a bit like Schneidlin when he was at played with Wanyama at Southampton. Everyone was like, oh, Schneidlin's a really good midfielder. You get him on his own, is he? I mean, I remember watching Chelsea play Liverpool. I've mentioned this before away, and Chelsea were awful. But Kante was just like... It was like with three players there. So I've got massive concern. 29 in August as well. I mean, that's not necessarily a mad thing, but I don't know. I just don't know. I hope there's nothing. I really hope there's nothing in it. Barry D. Adkins says we had Mata off Chelsea though. Yeah, Mata was a good signing. He was a good signing. He was about 25, 26 at the time though, wasn't he? And Jethro says there's a lot of United stand sheep on here. You can see that when so many people use the same language as Mark, uninspiring. If we sign him, how about we give him a chance? Well, Jethro, I think everyone will give him a chance. Everyone will give him a chance. Of course they will. But I think, you know, I can only speak from my point of view, and I started it off positive. I think he is the closest to Michael Carrick in the Premier League. He is experienced. He is better than Fellaini, so it's an improvement. So there are positives to it. But I've got to give my spin on it. Otherwise, what's the bloody point in having a fan opinion channel? What's the point in generating opinion? I know a lot of people disagree with me. I welcome that. That's what it's all about. It's about opinion. But my concern, as I said at the start, is that straight away, if we sign Matic, you've got a split. that's not what a signing should be. A signing should be exciting and enthusiastic. You can't sign players that are going to have fans split straight away, and split for a number of reasons. Split because Chelsea fans really, really want us to buy him because they want to get rid of him. That's not a good thing. Split because for the price we're going to pay for him, the age he is, and the fact that he's a Chelsea cast-off, it's embarrassing when we can get somebody brand new with no baggage, who's younger and got better potential. Thirdly, he's not very fast. He's not very fast. And you look at United last season, our midfield got overrun a lot of the times because it wasn't very fast. And that basically got overrun because the centre defensive midfielders weren't quick enough. We need somebody in there who can get around the ground quick. And Matic can't, and he's only going to get slower as he gets closer to 30. So that's a concern for me. Also, a concern for me personally is this isn't Manchester United in the way we've been brought up on Manchester United. Manchester United midfields have always been quick at moving the ball, quick at getting the ball back. And that's not what Matic's game is. He's not that sort of player. And this, Mourinho, is he going to... There was a lot of games last season where we were very boring. Is that what we're going to do? Because the way I see Matic works well with another DM centre defensive midfielder alongside him, with a team that sits deep and then hits teams on the break. Is that what we're going to do? Is that what Manchester United are now? We're just going to be a compact defensive side that looks to hit people on the break? Because that concerns me. I think United should be taking the game to other people. But there must always be a comment about this, and this is this. This is in the Manchester Evening News. Poor old Jose, poor old Woodward could be sat there thinking, what? Why are we being questioned about Matic? We don't even want him. And I hope that is the reality. I really do, because there's better out there. And also, there are people that serve us a lot better. Hello? No, it's all right. This is quite a funny one. Let me just get him. It's Matic. We had Matter off Chelsea though. We already had that. Hello, Drawty? Yeah. You know I'm actually live at the moment.
Yes, but Paul has told me to ring you.
Who?
Paul.
Why?
At Ross. Apparently he's very nice to say that Matic has been denied by Manchester United. Apparently.
The Telegraph has said that Matic has been denied by Manchester United. Well, this is why I took the call. I take very few calls when I am live, but this I need to verify it if Ross or Paul have sent it me. I'm trying to find this. Checking the group chat. Okay, yeah, it is reported in the Telegraph. It's not a great link, but it is there. Manchester United have dismissed reports of the club agreeing personal terms. This is why we have the people on the United stand like Drawty and Paul and Ross, because they're on the ball when we're live. Well, that's great. I'll react to that and I'll speak to you in a minute, pal. Ta-ta, see you in a bit. Breaking news. Well, I've suddenly got a smile on my face. Yeah, so apparently the Telegraph are now saying that it's Manchester United have denied it. Now, Telegraph, Manchester Evening News, Telegraph would be above. So, yes, I'm feeling happier now. There's nothing like live TV, is there? We start off... apologies to those people who wanted Matic. I know it was a dividing line. I feel very bad for you. I don't, but United stand in its collective... fan opinion, we mourn your loss of Matic signing personal terms, but in all seriousness, it could still happen. It could still happen. I hope it's not going to happen for the reasons that I've raised. One, Chelsea fans want us to have him. Two, he's a Chelsea cast-off, and a cast-off is somebody that they don't want anymore. Like, if you go to Arsenal and you sign Sanchez, or you went to Liverpool and you signed Coutinho, Liverpool don't want to sell you him, but you get him. That is a signing I don't mind from a rival. I wouldn't take anyone from Liverpool anyway. I'd rather eat glass. But, I've used that twice this week. But, if you go to Chelsea and you take Matic or Fabregas off them, they don't want them anymore. I don't want United making that sort of signing. That's the sort of signing Liverpool make. I don't want them to sign rejects or cast-offs from other clubs, no matter how good they are. There's better out there, and that's what we should be looking for. Fabinho's doing an interview with ESPN today, says Josh might get some more quotes. Look, from what we heard from Fabinho yesterday, Fabinho wants to come to Manchester United. Hopefully, Manchester United will want him. Utter Nutter says, oh, Telegraph, you beautiful people. Telegraph could have pulled an absolute mastermind here. Just put some crap out straight away and everyone will click on us and like us. Might not be true. Tyrone says, Nemanja Matic is a good player, but I really don't want him. I think that's the fairest comment. Isn't it? You know, without well, it's not an overreaction. I just don't want him, I'm honest. And there are people who do want him, but I think Tyrone's is probably the middle ground. Good player, but we don't want him. I think that's a good one. What do you think of the news of Josh Harrop getting released, says Herbie Pierce. I think it's sad, but he was the wrong side of 20. I think he was 21 or 22. It's surprising because he scored a good goal against Crystal Palace, but I did say after that Crystal Palace game, right after it, I don't expect any of these lads who play, Mitchell, McTurney, Harrop, I don't expect them to have a future at Manchester United. I think Twansibi will, Fosu Mensah will, Angel Gomez will. The rest of them, it was a great opportunity and well done to Mourinho for giving them their minutes, but there's a lot of good players who've come through the youth setup who don't play for Manchester United. Michael Keane, Robbie Brady, very, very good player. So Harrop can go on and have a career, but he was never a player from the youth system that people were touting to be a Manchester United player, and that's the harsh truth. But I wish him the best in everything that he does. Lots of shouts out for Drawty ringing up there, which was good. Harrison Smooth says Mata was a Chelsea reject. He was not. I mean, that is just a myth. That is a myth perpetuated by people who want Matic at this club. We're gonna fall out in a nice way. Mata was not a reject from Chelsea. I think he was their player of the year about 10 years in a row. I'm joking, but he was their player of the year a lot. Mourinho came in, didn't like the style of play of Mata and marginalised him, so Mata got a move. That's what happened with Mata. That's why everyone thought Mourinho would sell Mata when he came to United, because he marginalised him when he went there. We paid top dollar for Mata, nearly £40 million 4 years ago. I mean, that's equivalent of about 60 to 70 in today's market. And it was a desperation signing. We were all there. Mata to Manchester United. Chelsea pulled our pants down and said, there's a player that we don't want anymore. And that, you know, that's a fact. But we were in a horrible position then. We had David Moyes who didn't know what he was doing. We were, you know, nowhere near top four, and it was trying to get top four. It was a desperation signing in January. I don't condone it. I think it was a panic buy. It worked out in the end, but we don't need to be there. That's where we were. We're in a different position now at Manchester United. We've had a good season on paper. We've got ourselves back in the Champions League. We don't need to be taking people's cast-offs. There are better players out there, and we should be shopping at the top of the table. I know Ram's going to open the champagne now. We're getting on it early. Percy says Matic's heart mark. Yeah, well, I don't sign players because they try. That should come as a guarantee. Louise O'Donoghue, Mata was an amazing player at Chelsea, but Mourinho did not like him, and he was there before Mourinho returned. We've covered the Matic thing. I think it's safe to say he divides opinion, but hopefully he's not signing. I also need to talk about Gareth Bale. I wouldn't do a video off this by any means, but it's sort of... I've said to you for a few weeks, people say, oh, have you been told anything about any signings? And the reality is, the honest truth is, no. There's nothing we're working on at the moment. There's nobody telling us anything. About 3 weeks ago, week and a half before Lindelof signed, Robin, who's based in Sweden, said that 99% Lindelof will sign. And we said that a week and a half before he signed, so people can say that's nonsense if you like. Go back and watch the videos. We did say that, and it happened. And I refused to say it was a done deal because I said it in January and I ended up looking an idiot. So it did happen. The only other thing I could say that we've been told a couple of times through this summer is that Gareth Bale to Manchester United isn't beyond the realms of possibility, and Gareth Bale, in the right circumstances, would be open to that move. So it's in the back there that maybe that it could happen. Why is it back in the news again this morning? Well, I don't think there's any weight to it, but essentially Real Madrid want to sign Mbappe, and Mbappe wants to go to Real Madrid is the story, but it's going to cost them over £100 million. And they're basically saying to Mbappe, you will play every week and you will be one of our star players. That means that Real Madrid need to offload one of their stars. That would be Ronaldo or Bale, effectively. They don't want to lose Ronaldo for obvious reasons, so Gareth Bale may be up for grabs. And if Bale leaves Real Madrid, I'd imagine Manchester United would be top of the pile. Woodward would want him. It's just whether Mourinho would. But again, I think Bale, Ian Forward's just said it there, Bale is injury prone. But Altibaz Lucky says sign him up. Again, I think Bale's a dividing opinion one. And unlike Matic, I would sign Bale. I'm such a hypocrite. I would sign Bale. You know what? I hate the word hypocrite because when nobody's bloody perfect, I hate people who call people hypocrites. Because, and I've done it, so I'm a hypocrite. But you know what I mean? People who say, oh, you're a hypocrite. Life is about changing your mind and being hypocritical. And I think you judge each situation on each situation. Gareth Bale, is it similar to Matic? Not really. I mean, Gareth Bale's one of the best players in the world. Is he effectively a Real Madrid cast-off? I've got to put you back in the box, Mark, and say yes, he would be. So that would be similar to Chelsea. If Real Madrid sell as Bale, it's because they want to sell as Bale. But it's totally a different situation because what Matic brings to our centre defensive midfielder is a lack of pace, which we really need. What Bale brings is some natural width and speed to our width, which we don't have. So on that, they're poles apart. But I know there's a lot of people who think he's injury prone and they don't want him. I would want Gareth Bale, I'll be honest with you. But whether I think it's going to happen or not is totally probably not likely. Shari Kara's here again. I think he's a Real Madrid fan, but likes to contribute to the channel. And he says, when you dream of Ramos and get Lindelof, small club. Well, it was a couple of years ago we were dreaming about Ramos, mate. I wouldn't take Ramos now. I'm more than happy with Lindelof. Electro87 says, way too injury prone. Killerholic says, I want Rodriguez. Well, that's something I was thinking about this morning, to be honest. If we signed, or if Real Madrid sell Rodriguez and Morata, they're probably going to get 100 million for the two. That would be the 100 million to cover Mbappe, wouldn't it? So they could play Mbappe, Ronaldo and Bale. But I think they like to play Benzema because he does a lot of the dog's body work. A few people are still saying they'd like to sign Matic. We need to bring through our quality youth players like old times. We never used to be a club that wastes so money on players from other clubs. Embarrassing to witness, says James Carter. It's a shame that that's not a Skype call, really, James, because that would be really well worth a discussion for a few minutes. I think it's a really good point. But as I have been consistent about this, I agree with you that we need to bring the youth players through and that spending money every summer isn't, it's exciting, but it's not necessarily the right way to go. But for Manchester United, probably for the next two transfer windows, it's 100% the right reason to go for two reasons. One, our youth isn't ready. We've got Fosu Mensah, Twansibi, Rashford. They're the three that are currently ready. So apart from that, who are the youth players you're going to play because they're not ready? You've got people like Gomez and Chang. They will be ready in a couple of years' time. So that's the couple of years for you, really. Obviously, Pereira is back as well. That's another one for the numbers. But the problems Manchester United have got can't be solved by Pereira, Twansibi, Fosu Mensah and Rashford at the moment. They're far deeper than that. And the reason we need to sign players is because we don't have the number of youth players to come through and solve the problems, because there are about 10 problems in the squad and we haven't got 10 good enough youth players. The second reason we need to sign players is because there are better players out there than what we've got at the moment, and we'd be stupid to refuse that under some moral code if we don't want to just chuck money at things. So, and the third reason, the real main reason, is we've spent a lot of money over the last 4 years, and unfortunately before Mourinho came, I would say 80% of those signings were bad signings, even down to people like Rojo, Darmian, obviously Memphis, Schneidlin, Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Falcao, Fellaini. There's so many bad signings, and when I say Rojo was a bad signing, I mean I did say up until Mourinho came, and he wasn't Mourinho's signing, but under Van Gaal wasn't that good. Schweinsteiger, love him, but it just didn't work out. So we bought and spent a lot of money on players that it didn't work out, and that is why you almost need to wipe from your mind the money that we spent between Sir Alex Ferguson leaving and Mourinho coming in, because that was a lot of wasted money and a lot of wasted players, really, that we've got to start again. We do need to spend money. It doesn't need to happen every year, but for the next, I would say, 2 transfer windows, we're probably going to see at least 3 players coming in each summer. And then I think in 2 years' time, we'll have the squad that Mourinho wants. The youth players will be more integrated and the next wave will be ready. And then I think we'll start to see the real sort of the way Manchester United should be, where we've got a good squad and maybe each summer we're only signing 1, maybe 2 players. And that's where Manchester United need to be. But we're not there at the moment, and we can't be there at the moment because of the mistakes of the past. And the youth just isn't strong enough yet. We've got some good youth at the moment, but not the numbers that we need to solve the problems that we've got. And the problems that we've got, fullbacks, we're a bit short. Centre-back, probably solved by Lindelof. Midfield is woefully short, and we need a CDM. Width, we've not got enough of it. Up front, I think we need 2 strikers, and if we want to use a number 10, I still think we need a number 10. So there's 7 problems there straight away without having, without natural rotation of players. Don't see why the hate on Matic. He could do a job for us with Mourinho, says Liam T. I applaud you. Comment, Liam, because it's the way you feel, and that's fantastic. But personally, when people say he can do a job for us, that makes me think of Everton. That makes me think of Liverpool. Manchester United, it shouldn't be about people doing a job for us. It should be about getting the best we can get, and we can get a lot better than Matic. But I've said my bit on that. I've said my bit. Samuel doesn't think that Morgan Schneiderlin was a bad signing. I'll be harsh with you, Samuel. He has to be a bad signing. It didn't work out. He was a flop. That's the fact. I don't think we ever saw what Schneiderlin can be. I would agree with you on that. But he had opportunities and it didn't work out. Simple as that. Cavani's a good partner for Morata, Mark. Oh, I don't want Cavani. Don't mention Cavani. Now we got to let Fellaini go. If Matic comes then, says Feifei. Well, let's just see what happens for the rest of the afternoon. We're live again at 8:30 tonight. If a signing happens, it will be a Skype show, as I say. If not, we'll review what happens. But as of this moment, Matic, Manchester Evening News are saying personal team terms have been agreed. The Telegraph are saying that Manchester United denied the story and said it's nonsense. I will now go and do a little bit more back looking into it, but hopefully it's not true. Hopefully we're not getting him. Somebody just said, when do you think we'll make our next signing? I think by next weekend we will have made a signing. Not this weekend, by next weekend. And then by the weekend after that, I think we'll have made another 2. I think by July the 8th, we'll have made 4 signings in total. Yes. If you didn't watch the transfer show from this morning, go and give it a watch. Renato Sanchez, it's in my suggested videos. Interesting about Renato Sanchez. Spoke about it for a good couple of minutes on the show this morning. And I like it. Well, it's all in the video. It's all in the video. Thanks everyone for watching, and I shall speak to you all tonight at 8:30. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. It's Friday, weekend's nearly here. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. We've got quite a few dislikes. Look, I'll always be honest with you. I can't sit and say Matic is coming to United. I'm happy. I'm really happy. That's, I don't lie. But what I would agree with is, and what I tried to be at the start, and I did start off with the positives. It is a fan opinion channel, and I realise a lot of you would like Matic. So I did give the positives as well as then giving my opinion as well. Thanks everyone, and I'll speak to you all tonight at 8:30. Looking forward to it. What will we be talking about? See you soon.